All right, ready? What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Bar Exam, where we go ahead and discuss all the craziness of the week. We lay it upon our court, okay? We lay it upon all of the folks that are here right now, our judges. And then we also lay it upon you guys. You are our jury. So we are definitely going to be wanting to hear from you as well. We want to know your opinion. Now, we're going to talk about, like I said, the things that came up this week. And if you have any comments, questions, concerns, tell us in the comment section, and make sure you guys are also hitting that subscribe button as well. Now, coming before the court this week, we are discussing a lot of stuff that happened. Namely, I'm sure that we're going to end up having to talk about politics at some point because it's going
You already
crazy.
know.
You already know
Right.
we got the best people in the building to talk about that. We're also going to be talking about the new Lil Wayne album that just dropped. A lot of fans are talking about that one online and some other stuff coming up. I know the fellas got a lot on their chest that they just have to discuss with us. So let me introduce them to you. This is the Bar Exam crew. We have Mr. Shane G in the building. What's up, Shane?
What's the deal? What's the deal? How are we doing, everybody?
Good as always. And then we also have Mr. Eric G in the building. What's up, Eric?
Yo, 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 what's the deal, y'all? How y'all doing?
What's up? And then we have none other than himself, Mr. Marcus TV here as well. What's up, Marcus?
What's the word of the day?
Right? What is going on in these internets? What is happening? Also, I'm Allie. I think I forgot to say that. So
Big
welcome on
Alley
in.
in the building.
Period. Big one, not the lil. Welcome on in, guys. But yeah, so let's start it off. I don't know where you guys want to start off first. I feel
Allie, I
like
want to check on you. Are y'all all right out in LA? Shit is going down.
Bruh, bruh,
Right.
let's get into that real quick. Okay, so a lot of people have been seeing that ICE has been raiding throughout LA a lot, especially this week, I guess or actually the next 30 days. Apparently, they got some type of call that made them send out a whole fleet of ICE. I don't know, officers out here to LA to round up whoever they believe are illegal immigrants to have them deported. Now, if you don't know, California is full of Hispanic and Latino people, and of course, other minorities, other nationalities, and all that kind of stuff. However, it's a very predominantly Hispanic or Latino. So coming through with ICE, with a community of people who do not fuck with ICE, I could have told you before it happened that this shit was not gonna go easy, not gonna happen, lightly at all. So yeah, so basically people decided to start protesting. People were on social media posting about all these ICE officers going from door to door, neighborhood to neighborhood, trying to find people, trying to trap people, going to schools. To me, that's the most disgusting thing. I feel like schools, hospitals, churches should be off limits. Normally, in other past administrations, they normally would respect those locations as places of sanctuary. Now, all of a sudden, with this administration, no place is safe, nowhere to hide. So it is really sad. And Californians are not taking it lightly. We're very much a blue state, so we're pushing back aggressively. Now, don't get me wrong. People hear that and they think that there's raiding and looting and just complete mayhem. That's not necessarily the case. To be totally honest, I woke up to the exact same news as you guys. Of people being like, there's all these protests. It's like LA is burning or something. All these, everyone's going to get arrested. To be totally honest, I work in downtown LA. I was just there all of 30 minutes ago. I'm telling you right now, not nearly as bad as what they're trying to make it seem online. Also, the location, what they keep saying is LA, the place where all these riots are happening, is actually not technically LA city. Like the city of LA is not where these protests, a lot of them are happening. The one that we all saw on the news where they shut down the highway and stuff is actually over in Paramount, which is like basically on the border of LA County and Orange County. So it's like if you took a step over you're actually in Orange County. So that kind of makes sense as to why, like, it's actually been pretty quiet in LA. There were some peaceful protests in downtown, but it was like sectioned off to like a few blocks. It's not nearly what they're making it seem, online or on TV. So I did want to clear that up because I definitely had people calling me, texting me. My dad called me at like 3 o'clock in the morning, guys, because he cannot let the news, he can't just watch the news and be a bystander. He has to make sure that I'm okay. So he hit me up and I'm like, it's not that deep. But I am glad that we're pushing back. So long story short, I am safe, I'm fine, but I'm in total support of these protests.
That's right. Yeah, I did a video on the channel. Make sure that y'all check it out. Where I'm talking about basically what's going on in LA and how we got here. So pretty much Donald Trump, he invoked the Insurrection Act. So basically what that means is the president can use the military like the police, basically domestically, so in the country. Um, the reason he did this is because, quote unquote, the protests were out of control in LA. And Gavin Newsom isn't doing anything about it. Again, air quotes. Um, so he had to take it upon himself. Really, what this is, if you're asking me, this is this is sort of what Republicans do, right? So they'll say, yo, the government doesn't work, the government doesn't do anything for you, blah, blah, blah. And then they'll go in there and break the government to prove their point. And then say, see, we told you the government doesn't work. That's why you need to just go out there, get it yourself, and not rely on the government and blah, blah, blah. That's what this is. They're sending out all these ICE protesters to antagonize people, to irritate people, to agitate people. And they know some of these motherfuckers are gonna fight back, not
Mm-hmm.
just protests. You know what I'm saying? Some of these motherfuckers are gonna fight back physically. And now you can send those people to jail. Now you have examples of out of control protesters. See, this is why we had to send in the National Guard and ICE and the military and all that shit. Because the whole thing
100%.
was they had a quota. They had to deport 1,200 people a day. That was the quota that
Mm.
Donald Trump set for them. They got rid of all the undocumented criminals in like the first week or two. But if you have a
Wow.
1,200 people a day quota, you got to keep going. So now you're getting citizens who are just Mexicans. You're getting, you know what I'm
Mm,
saying, just random dark people. You know what I mean? People who have never committed crimes, all types of shit. So that's what we're seeing now. And I think that's another big part of why you're seeing all this pushback. And who do they think they're doing this to? Like, it's niggas and Mexicans. You think we just gonna let you round up our cousins and shit like that? Like, what do you think is going on?
Right.
And you in South Central LA. Like, the
Right.
Serenios ain't going for that shit. The Crips ain't going for that shit. The Bloods, the Pyrus, the Hoovers, ain't nobody just going for that shit. So, like,
At
and then
all.
I was explaining to some other people, Arizona always follows LA's lead when it comes to the streets. So if the gangs in LA, which I have seen, start unifying on some shit, like, yo, we got to put our shit to the side for a second and fight back these motherfuckers, Arizona gangs will do the same thing. So
Mm.
I've already seen protests in New York popping off. Shout out Detroit. I've seen protests in Detroit. You're going to see them in Florida because there's a big Hispanic population there. You're going to see them in Texas. You're going to start seeing them here. I'm all for it. I love it.
Yeah. And I really, really am glad that you also mentioned how a lot of times, the Republicans or, the far right, whoever, how they work and how they try and, like you said, break the system. Because actually, I went to a protest or a couple protests. Remember when I think it was around COVID and we were doing like Black Lives Matter protests. I
I was
went
outside for
Yeah.
to
that too, for sure.
Yep.
Yeah, I went to a few of them in LA, and I remember there was like so many people out there. I remember us being on the news, everything. When I tell you, it was so incredibly peaceful the entire time until about like towards the end. And I promise you, everybody who had been at the meeting at the beginning of the march understood we're being peaceful. We're not, trying to hurt anyone. We're not trying to like we just want our voices, to be heard. We just want to make a movement. That's it. We don't want to deface property or vandalize anything. Like, if you're going to be on that type of shit, they basically said you can get the fuck out? So, what really pissed me off though was like we were marching, it was beautiful, it was great. And then all of a sudden, you could totally tell that they were like these undercover cops or like these people who were hired, because all of a sudden like they would come out of nowhere. Like you'd be with the whole group of people and then you'd see like people in all black come from like a side alley with a mask and all this shit, spray cans and stuff, and they're like, who the fuck invited you? Because nobody was on that type of time. Like, I swear to you, I remember they were trying to make it seem like all these black people were vandalizing everything, were like destroying buildings and businesses. When I tell you, the only people that I saw actually vandalizing businesses were white people with, like in masks and stuff. I'm so serious. Like, there were so many people like spraying up Starbucks and shit. And I'm like, that's not even a part of what we were doing, what we were marching at all, what we represent. So yes, and then also the main reason that that protest ended up actually like ending early was because I have a video of it. There's like, how like in the movies, you can kind of tell like what car is going to be set on fire because all of a sudden they have like a Subaru or like you guys remember those old cop cars? I want to Crown Vic. The Crown
Yes.
Vics. Okay, you know how like everybody in the fucking show or the movie or whatever is driving around in Fords and Chevy, and they're all newer, like Ford Escapes and all that kind of stuff. Then all of a sudden, the next scene, there's a car on fire. One of the cops got
Yeah.
blown up or whatever. It's a Crown Vic. Same type of movie bullshit happened when I was I was at the protest. So like everything was peaceful. We hit this corner. There's this random cop car in the middle of the fucking street, no cops nowhere, not in it or like really like protecting it. There was like a group of them around it for a while, and then all of a sudden they disappear. Then all of a sudden the car sets on fire. Not a single press protester was near the fucking car. Nobody was trying to put the car out like the police. Like, could you put your own shit out? Like, no one called the fire department. So that to me was a blatant example of, okay, you guys are really trying to make this a whole show, a whole thing. So yeah, so you can go ahead and incite martial law or whatever the fuck it is that you want. But I'm just telling you, I do want to go to one of these protests and I want to see if I see some bullshit like that again, because I just feel like that's so unacceptable. And the fact that not even the media will say something because they're so afraid of Trump and the minions and stuff like that, I think is bullshit. Like, if you're not willing to go to bat and tell the truth, then you shouldn't be a journalist. Period.
Yeah, I mean that's the whole thing. Like with journalism nowadays is so it's been corporatized. So anytime anything is like me and one of the colleagues at the code were discussing this yesterday, matter of fact. And we were talking about how the news, everything is entertainment now. So even the
Yeah.
news is there to get ratings. It's not there to give you the news. You know what I'm saying? So they have
Mm-hmm.
to provide more entertainment than education at that point. So that's why, like, if you really think about it, the news is supposed to just be a set of facts. It's supposed to
Yeah.
just be information and you make your own mind up about what that information is, right? Like, that's what it's supposed to be. But now we have right wing news and left wing news. How is that possible when we're talking about the same stuff? Two plus two is four, no matter what your opinion is. You know what I'm saying? No matter how you feel about it, that's the fact. Two plus two is four. You know what I mean? We breathe oxygen. That's the fact. It doesn't matter what you think. It doesn't matter how you feel, what your ideology is. You need oxygen to breathe. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, that's what the news is. But somehow, again, because of corporations, because of capitalism, they've skewed it in such a way to where you have to play for a team now. And now, when you're playing for a team, now it's sports. Politics is sports now. You know what I'm saying? Instead of rooting for the Pistons, you root for the Democrats. Instead of, you know what I mean? Like, instead of rooting for the Cowboys, you root for the Republicans. Like, so that's what it's turned into. And then people make it such a part of their personality when they don't even understand what these labels are a lot of times. Like they don't really know. Like if you ask somebody, like if you go policy for policy with the majority of people, most people are actually left wingers. Like if you're like, what do you think about healthcare? What do you think we should do? The majority of people believe in some sort of single payer system. How you get there differs from person to person, but most people believe in that because they know that the way we got it right now ain't working. Most people believe in free college. Most people believe that we should end the wars. Most, you know what I'm saying? Like all these things, these are all left wing ideas. And if you ask the majority of people one issue at a time, that's how they're going to respond. But if you ask them, yo, are you a Republican or are you a lefty? Are you a right winger? A lot of people will say a right winger and they'll be like, oh, I don't like that gay shit. Or I don't like it's all I don't like the, you know, or it might be some racist shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, I don't like the Mexicans coming and taking all our jobs or whatever. Really, all you got to do is just convince those people that that shit isn't the reason that their life is trash. Like, it's really your boss. That's why your life sucks. And it doesn't have nothing to do with the trans dude down the street or the Mexican dude that is at the gas station. You know what I'm saying? Trying, like, it's not none of that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. And I mean, we could dive into how that's just always been a tactic, find like one of the most marginalized, most other people in our community and just figure out a way to like blame all the societal problems on them. I mean, we've seen it time and time again, but like, I don't want us to, drown on forever about politics, but it is something to note and for us to pay attention to. And, I just, I can't wait to see what happens. I'm a little bit nervous, but
one
I
more
I
political
would
thing,
like to
though,
see.
just real quick on the
Yeah.
politics tip, because I want to know Marcus's opinion of this. If Elon and Donald Trump had a
Yes, we
rap
gotta
battle,
talk about it.
they've been on Twitter exchanging bars. So who's winning the rap battle?
Hmm.
Winning the battle
Who's
or the
winning the
war?
battle? Trump or Musk? The richest man in the world versus the most powerful man in the world. Who wins?
Elon?
Elon got better bars than Trump.
He ain't got better bars. He got longer money. So
Mm.
like you got to understand, Elon right now. You at the end of the day, if without quoting numbers, this is off the top of my head without Google searching. I think he's $228 million above Bezos.
Wow.
If it's
Wow.
or some whatever, if it's not the exact number, we know he's 100 million. He's 100 million plus on Jeff Bezos. He's 200 million plus on Bill Gates, and I mean, it's almost laughable how much he's ahead.
He's about 100. He's about $160 billion up on Jeff Bezos. So
Okay,
Musk's net worth is 393.8 billion, and Jeff Bezos is 228.1 billion.
okay.
That's
So
nuts.
so who does Donald Trump get money wise to back against Elon?
But do you need that if you're the president? Because you got all sorts of other ways. Because you got to think about how Elon it gets his money, right? A lot of it is government subsidies. Trump can just cut that shit off.
And is trying to.
Now, now you're not worth $398 billion overnight. Like that happens instantly if he cuts off those subsidies. He gets $8 million a day from the government. So I just want to put that out there. Like it ain't all
I,
Tesla
like
money.
I don't.
And I think the influence part might lean a little bit in Trump's favor too. He ain't got the
Saying
influence. Like Musk got the money, but he ain't got the influence that Trump has.
But
And
it's hard
and
though,
in this
because,
day and age, I don't know. In this day and age, it's harder. It's influence and shit. That's another form of currency nowadays.
but you got to remember, he owns X now. And now he has used that
Mm.
platform to create his whole army, including a big portion of Trump's army. So now, if he starts to use your favorite platform against you with all of your little minions on there, and we already know they don't do their research. They love a little tweet
Yeah.
without any evidence. So
So yeah,
shit.
Without any type of research.
Yeah, so he got some
and
type of influence.
and I'm gonna say Elon wins too because Trump is on the timeline. At the very end of the day, we got 300. Well, I said 300. We got 3.65 years left of this.
That's
That
another reason why I asked, does he need that money? Because Trump ain't got shit to worry about. Like, he's not running for president again after this. He, well, allegedly.
well,
Right.
We'll see.
he
You know
won't
what
be
I'm
running
saying?
for
But
yeah, he won't be running for president, but he, I'll say this: Elon's gonna have the last laugh because I mean, one, his money's longer, like immensely longer. So
Mhm.
I think it
Yeah.
depends on what happens with them subsidies. If Trump cuts them off, we'll see. If he
so
doesn't
so
cut him off, Elon, I
so,
think you got it.
so let's just assume that he does cut him off, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's just say he does, and we I'm a speak real hypothetically. Let's just okay, Elon is cut off from the government.
Mm-hmm.
Elon needs a new power base. He needs somebody to you saw what happened with black people in Target, right? We all came together, said fuck Target. Target lost all of this money.
Mm-hmm.
Just for shits and giggles, let's just assume that Elon now did X, Y, and Z for the black small business owner and gave them Starlink and you want to have a small and startup, whatever the fuck, that now all the black people with businesses of small and big are now going through Elon and are financed by Elon or whatever, however it's done. It's the small black business operation that would move the needle to scary for them that Elon controlled. I don't want to say controlled, but facilitated the black race, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's
But he wouldn't do
that's
that though. I don't think
huh?
there's anything we ever even had to. I know you're being hypothetical, but I don't think there's anything we have to worry about at all. Like Elon is a
Okay,
racist, and
okay.
we can
I
say
see. I
that
don't
pretty comfortably.
see that you and we've had this argument before. There's a
Mm-hmm.
difference between racist and racism,
Mm-hmm.
meaning like
He practices both, but go
I
ahead.
don't yeah, I don't believe Donald Trump or Elon is a racist. Like
I
David
think Trump.
David Duke is a racist.
Correct. Correct.
You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? Like they don't
I,
I don't care
yeah.
what you have to offer. I'm not giving it to that nigga.
So I think Trump is. I think Trump is classist. He doesn't like poor people. You know what I'm saying? So it's not about color with him. I don't think he hates black people because they're black. I think you're right about that. I think he hates poor people. And he probably associates black and brown people with being poor more. So I think it's more that than it is a flat out, ew, black, ew, get that shit away from. I don't think it's that.
Yeah.
With Elon, I do think it is that though. And the reason I say that is because his whole family was part of apartheid South Africa. Like they were part of the white people that came and took over all that farmland that they're fighting over right now, basically, and that the government is trying to restore back to the people or whatever. So it's like, nah, he kind of came up under the racism tree. Like, I hate the other, and now that I have the money, I can practice actual institutional racism. I think he literally does both, and everything he did with Doge. Like,
Hmm.
I think it's pretty cut and dry. Like, he doesn't like he's very pro white. I'll
Mhm.
say it that way.
True.
Like, so anyway.
Yeah. Can we go over really, really quick? Can we go over the tweets? So just in case
Oh
anybody
yeah,
missed
yeah, yeah.
it. Okay. So basically, not too long ago, Elon, I believe it was on, let me double check. It was on like May 28th that Elon had put up a tweet or whatever they call them. I don't know. I don't know
They're
what they call them.
tweets. Fuck
Okay,
that shit.
good. Yeah, I'm like, I don't know what they're called. X's, I don't know. Anywho, so he put up a tweet that basically said, or actually what literally said, as my scheduled time as a special government employee comes to an end, I would like to thank President at Real Donald Trump for the opportunity to reduce wasteful spending. The Doge mission will only strengthen over time as it becomes a way of life throughout the government. So everyone, was going with the storyline, including Elon, that he had just had a scheduled amount of time to be at Doge, to be a government employee, and that it was always going to expire. However, this statement is now giving PR team, it's now giving hand me your phone, we're going to type this out for you, because then on June 3rd, Elon decided to shake the table and decided to go ahead and tweet about Trump's one big beautiful bill, calling it a disgusting abomination. He basically said that the Trump tariffs will cause a recession in the second half of this year. He
He's right.
also right, and he basically had just dove back, dove into why he thought that it was a bad idea. But the ones that really stood out, I believe, are the tweets where he basically told everyone that, this is verbatim what he said. He said, without me, Trump would have lost the election, Dems would control the House, and the Republicans would be 51 to 49 in the Senate. Such ingratitude. I feel like that is the one that really stood out to me,
Also correct.
because right, because we do, I don't know if everyone remembers, but around the election, there was something that was going on with like the Pennsylvania polls. They were saying that something was happening where they weren't able to count correctly or something weird. And they were saying that there was like a software malfunction. Well, apparently Elon sent in his team and of his Geek Squad team, and they fixed the problem, aka they might have fixed the whole entire race.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now we can look back and be like, all right, so when we were calling you out and saying that we needed a recount because we felt as though something was fishy, and then we were supposed to get a recount and then we didn't, now we can look back and be like, so did you admit that you did steal it, and that you helped him with that? Now then, Trump decided he wanted to defend himself, because Musk did not stop there. He also decided to go online, and this is the other big bomb. He decided to let everyone know that the real reason that we have not found out what is in the Epstein files is because he says Donald J. Trump is in those files. And so he had them. Yes, sir. And so he had them sealed, apparently. That is a huge, huge bomb to drop. I mean, I thought saying that
That
you rigged
shit's
the
true
election.
too. That
Yeah.
shit's true too. I'm gonna go ahead and say it. Jeffrey Epstein is on tape saying, I was best friends with Donald Trump for 10 years. That's number one. Number two, Jeffrey Epstein had all sorts of inside information at the Trump administration that nobody else had. Number three, Elon Musk is in multiple pictures with Ghislaine Maxwell, who is the bottom bitch of Jeffrey Epstein, if y'all don't remember.
Indeed, she is.
Number four, where did Melania and Donald Trump meet?
No,
Anybody have a guess?
you're kidding.
Epstein
Not at his
Island.
party.
I can tell you the first time they had sex was on Epstein's plane. That's a fact.
Insane. Oh my God.
So shout out to your animal. You know what I mean? We let the kitties and the doggies.
He had to get the tea. He heard it.
Yeah, you want to be a
Had to.
star. You know what I mean? You
Right.
know,
That's
ethos welcomes
insane.
all. But yeah. So I believe Elon because he was close enough in that circle with all of those people. And there is no other reason why it wouldn't have come out because that was one of Trump's main campaign promises: the JFK files, the Epstein files. What's up?
Wow. Well, yeah, I guess now we know what happened. Well, then I guess after that, Trump decided to go on Truth Social and called out Musk, saying that he was crazy, claiming that Musk was throwing a fit over the EV tax credit removals. He said
Also
that,
true.
right, he threatened to cancel federal contracts with Tesla and SpaceX as well. So I basically, I guess he decided, you know what, since you're kicking up your tantrum or whatever, I'm going to tell the people why you got a tantrum. And if you keep it up, young man, I'm going to go ahead and pull some more money out of your allowance, basically. Musk did not like that, though. Musk went and escalated the situation by stirring up renewed impeachment talk and floated the idea of forming a new political party on X. And it didn't stop there. Trump then decided to respond to media by doing interviews with them and decided to say that Musk has lost his mind and made clear he wasn't interested in talking about it. He also warned Musk about very serious consequences if Musk decided to back the Democrats. Honestly, for me, I kind of like that he's threatening Elon because if he got more money than you, I just feel like he is just going to go ahead and use that money to let you know that he is not somebody to be trifled with. Like, I feel like, you know how, like, when someone's like, man, like, if you don't stop, I'm gonna do something even worse. And you just kind of call their bluff. You're like, do it then. Fuck it. Like now I'm really
Mhm.
gonna fuck you up. You know what I mean? Now I'm really gonna make fun of you. I really want to see what you're about to do. And I think that's exactly what Elon is gonna say. So that well, or we're gonna react like. So Musk then removes some of his inflammatory X posts. However, he's not necessarily like putting out a statement that is saying like I take it back. I do think that he is feeling a lot of pressure because of those cuts, because Tesla has already made huge, had huge losses because of this whole situation anyway. But I don't think that he's going to sit down and take this quietly, not for long. I'm pretty sure he's probably just, with his minions, they're probably cooking up a little evil scheme. And basically, Trump has remained, pretty firm on his stance that he wants to put Elon back in his place. But we'll see. Right now, there's no reconciliation plans in the future. But we'll see. You never know. That Musk has been threatening to donate to the Democrats. So we'll see if he'll put his money where his mouth is.
Last thing I'll say, Democrats don't take his money. Fuck Elon. Don't take. We already know what
Right.
he's
Don't take
about.
Nazi money for real. Don't
Yeah,
take Nazi money.
it. That's it. There you go.
Yeah. But what were you gonna
This
say,
should feel like
Marcus?
rap. This
I
should feel
think
like rap Twitter beef.
so. I think Elon is. I'm gonna go. What is? I'm gonna go Star Wars. Elon is gonna be the spark that lights the fire of the resistance. You know,
The
like
evil resistance.
yeah, like I think I will say this. I think Elon can provide a digital footprint. No, I think Elon can provide a digital pathway to impeachment for Trump.
Yeah, I think that's true.
Yeah,
I
I
think
I
that's
that's
would
true.
think
love
that,
possible. Yeah.
that.
and I think it can be provided in a way that Democrat nor Republican can't ignore because of you know where it's coming from, you know
Hmm.
why it's coming, but you also know that it's also true. So
Hmm.
I
That's
think
a good
so.
point.
So I don't necessarily think that Trump. I mean, he's threatening Elon, but hey, you can't pardon yourself, buddy. And you and if Democrats can get their head out the sand and take advantage of this vulnerability and play politics, you know, and when I say play politics, like you need at the end of the day, you need a head on a spit. Like,
There's a difference between politics and policy.
yeah, you need
They need to
you
play
you
politics.
you need you everybody here watch The Wire. You need dope on the table. I don't need arrest. I need the press conference. I need to see dope on the table. So
Yep.
you have to get
Yeah.
that. And if they don't do it now, I don't, it's just kind of doomed. But I, I
Hmm.
I don't think he's gonna shut his business down in a retaliatory, mainly because he can sue him for it. And if even if the government says, "Oh yeah, we were liable, this, that, and the third, and it was because of this," if it goes to the Supreme Court and it was abuse of the presidential powers, that's the pathway. Like he's gonna, like that's what I'm saying. The game is chess, not checkers. Even if he's gonna do something that's gonna get himself indicted, fucking with Elon. That was an abuse of power. That was this. That was whatever it is. You can't. You're the commander in chief, but bro, you're not untouchable.
Right.
Let's
Only on
definitely encourage everybody to go check out my video. Again, dropped it yesterday. Politics as usual, breaking all of this stuff down. Because there's a lot more to say about it, but we definitely got to get to some fun shit. You know what I'm saying? So
We do.
oh
We definitely do.
speaking of dope, Lil
Speaking of
Wayne's
dope,
album.
yes, sir. Okay, so
Mhm.
Lil Wayne just dropped a new Carter album. This one, I believe, is called Carter 6. And it's getting some mixed reviews. I think mainly because
it.
it
I was
is
like
one of the
mixed.
Yeah, I don't think it mixed. I don't think it's mixed.
I think these
you don't
reviews
think
are
it's
coming in hot. They
Hey,
trash.
like I'm
Yeah,
like
this ain't mixed.
okay, Eric,
respect.
take over, and Marcus. Y'all
No,
let
no. Back to you, Allie.
no.
Respectfully, you said mixed.
Okay. The reason I say mix, okay, let me finish the statement. The reason I say mix is because the album is so goddamn long. It's kind of hard not to find something on there that you're like, okay, this isn't too bad. Like, we ain't gonna sit here and act like Wayne ain't a spitter. However, when you got so many goddamn songs on there, clearly there's a lot of them in there that are just filler, that were just on the hard drive. And he was like, fuck
He trying
it.
to get
You know what I'm
that
saying?
he trying to break the stream algorithm.
Buddy trying
So
to
he
get
pulling a Chris
any
Brown.
coins.
I
Yes.
can't stand these
A-
long albums
Allie,
anymore.
Allie, are you Allie? Are you brown skin?
I believe so. Is the screen working today? I mean, I hope it shows that I have some type of melanin. Don't play
Yeah.
with me. I get that a
But
lot. I want y'all to know. I get that a lot. And I'd be ready to slap fire off of anyone. I swear to
Listen,
God.
y'all, I seen her in
The
person.
amount, the
She is
amount
a black
Oh, that's
woman. I can
funny.
when I
assure
tell
you.
you the
right,
other day, some bitch tried to comfort me and was like, I cannot stand 15%. Hello? 15 where? 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 Okay? Not to be
Oh
explicit,
shit.
but I want you to know the
15.
woman that I came out of is 100% black. Okay?
There we go.
Yes, I've got some mix in me, but let's never get it confused. I am absolutely more than 15%. I am more than 50% black. So I
Talk
know,
that shit, Allie.
don't let the lights fool you. I know they're bright in this motherfucker, but trust and believe. I am 1,000% black. You know.
Shout out to black ass Allie in this
Black as a
motherfucker.
I'm
motherfucker.
sorry. That wasn't for Marcus. That was for all the other motherfuckers that was trying to play me
no.
online.
You
Allie
like
said
I
blacker
knew
the berry, sweeter the juice out this motherfucker. What you talking about?
I knew I was gonna get something out of you. I didn't know I was gonna get that. But like I feel like what I got was like the people who hate this album, and that's because that's what I was
Okay.
looking for. That's what I wanted. Like, there's nobody who was like, "Oh nah, this album was good." Like, no. So yeah, you
So you
prove
don't think
you.
that there's some songs on here that are like, okay, you could have kept this. Like you could have put this as a single, or like, you could have
Okay,
put this on the
so
side, put that as the forefront and leave the rest of these alone.
here's the problem, which I know Marcus, you touched on it earlier, but I gotta touch on it too.
Go ahead. You
This
got it.
is because this is part of my problem in general right now. First of all of these albums are too fucking long nowadays. I'm pretty sure I brought it up here on the show before, but these albums are too long. I shouldn't be going through a 25 track album when also the time differentiation is also so different because it's not even like it's long and like there's like substance to it, because that's not even it. It's like there'll be like 20 to 25 songs of 53 minutes of filler, and I'm tired of that shit. And even though with this album in particular, I will give Wayne this just to give him some type of props. When Wayne feels like honing in on a song that actually makes sense to put on his project, then it don't sound bad. But when it continues to be this wide array of mix of just songs that just feel like you're picking them off a hard drive, there's no direction to it. There's no clear cut like signal of what you're trying to give your fans on this. Like, it's like, no, it's none of that. It's just, here's a collection of songs. Some of them might sound the same. Some of them might sound different. Some of them might be in different genres. Like, and it just all meshes together in this like big jobble of a mess. And I
Yeah.
think back when he was doing mixtapes, I feel like that was a little more acceptable because the mixtapes were, it was more acceptable to do on the mixtapes. But on your album, especially on your series that you keep naming after yourself, like that's the other problem I have with it is that he has unfortunately now diluted even more the legacy of the Carter series, and that's kind of unfortunate.
Yeah, I
I
totally agree with that.
one hundred
Because
percent.
like I was bringing this up before the show, and this is what we was talking about a little bit, Ali, before you got on. But I feel like Wayne has been basically doing this since the Carter 3. Like you'll have albums here and there that kind of have a nice theme, or there's some sort of glue that kind of puts all the project together and it makes sense for all those songs to be on the same project. But not a lot though. Like we've gotten a lot of what I call playlist albums from Lil Wayne, in my opinion, since Carter 3. Like that was kind of the first one. Now, whatever the reason is for that, leaks and he had to rush it together and blah, blah, blah. All right, cool. But a Millie, Mrs. Officer, the shit with Jewels and Fab, like none of them songs go together. Phone Home, Wheezy, and all of this shit. Like none of that shit went together. Like none of those songs in the Carter 3 went together. So I feel like when that worked, he was like, oh, okay, well, I can just record songs and whatever the hottest 20 or 30 or however many are on this bitch are, I just put them on there. It doesn't matter if there's a theme. Like, there was a very clear reason why the Carter was called the Carter on Carter 1 and Carter 2. Like, he was clearly doing the New Jack City movie thing. You know what I'm saying? The Carter, like that was the buildings that they sold drugs out of, and that was the theme, the intro. Yo, let me walk you through my building, blah blah blah. Yo, Marley, don't shoot him, he's cool, blah blah. Like all of that stuff, like that was all part of. He was doing like audio movies basically, and then the
Yeah, he was
songs.
storytelling. Yeah,
Yeah.
storytelling.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So once that was lost, it's not the Carter no more to me.
Yeah, and I think you can get away with stuff like that if it's like hot fire. Like
Yeah, yeah.
if it's
Yeah,
like
if the music's good.
yeah, if it's a hot dumpster fire, it's like nigga, like you couldn't even give us a story to follow. So I think that you guys definitely have a point. I think yeah, it definitely came off as hodgepodge. I can't even lie. I think he attempted some things to make a little bit of sense. Like I think that like what is it like king what is it king carter I think that let me look at the list again, let me look at the track list. Okay, so like I didn't mind welcome to the carter, didn't really mind too much king carter. I mean they were kind of fluff, but I was like okay, like maybe you're trying to like start this really big introduction of your album, you know what I mean? So I wasn't too mad about that. I thought we were going in the right direction. But yeah, once you started getting into stuff like low key's theme, I just didn't really understand too much, like peanuts to an elephant. I didn't like, I got the bars kind of, but I really wasn't crazy about the beat. Like, yeah. So I feel
That
like it
beat
was
was
very,
atrocious.
it was just so bad. Like, I feel like he really needs like someone in there who's like the producer who's like, okay, like I see that you have all these songs, but we need to make them flow together or give it a story or give it a concept so it kind of makes a little bit more sense. So yeah, it definitely just does seem like nobody was really editing him. And also I don't really feel like Wayne is a type of person that like I don't know. I feel like at the same time though, like when you get to a certain status, like when you're like he's a legend. You know what I mean? He's a living icon. I do kind of feel like you think that you can do whatever the fuck and sell it, you know? So I think he's a
Or
little
like
bit
people can't
arrogant.
tell you shit. It's like I'm Lil Wayne. I know what
Yeah,
works. How you gonna tell me?
exactly.
And it's
Exactly.
like,
It's
cause
a
I'm your producer, nigga. That's why. Like, that's my job to tell you.
Because I got
that's a
ears,
big
motherfucker.
that's a big reason why I think Wayne has been kind of on the same kind of path link and trajectory for such a while and you guys have all kind of said it differently, but it's because he's not being produced properly. Wayne is not one of those artists that can go out by himself, control everything that he's doing by himself, and everything will just go perfectly and make sense together. Even in projects that he does since the Carter 3 has really or since the Carter 3, everything that he's done that was really good has either been a feature or if he's doing a collaborative thing with somebody. Like, for example, his albums with Two Chains were always received pretty well. Um,
Yes.
the I Am Not a Human Being series, that was always received pretty well because there was a particular theme that he was following throughout that. Whether it was a little more edgier or not, it was still a theme that he was following, so it was easier to stay on track with what he was doing. You leave Wayne up to his own devices, and we get jumbled messes.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's a fair point. And actually, I love that you said
I ain't
that.
got nothing to add to that. That was actually spot the fuck on. Like,
Yeah.
and I'm over here thinking all of the Lil Wayne projects that I like had proper production.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. And
I
What,
don't.
why can't
those,
niggas just put out singles? I guess is my question. Like, why do we require albums from niggas now? Like Lil Wayne, you done gave us enough albums, you done gave us enough mixtapes. Like we have 1,000 projects from you. Just drop songs. Like if this is what you're gonna give us, literally just drop each of them as a single, and then we got it. We can put it on our own playlist. You know what I'm saying? You don't need to give it to us in the form of the Carter Six.
Yeah, and in Wayne's excuse, like I know he's on tour or he's about to start going on tour pretty soon or whatever the case may be, but Wayne is at the point to where his catalog is large enough to where like he could do like damn near like what 50 Cent is doing and just tour like whole albums or like a
Yeah.
period of time. Like Wayne's catalog is so large that he could literally tour periods of time of music if he felt like it.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's true. Well, we'll see what happens. I mean, I think that he really was just trying to do a money grab, to be honest. I think that he just realized, yeah, like I got some decent songs on here, but like I might as well go ahead and just run it up so I can get some extra streams so I can just, make some extra dough or whatever. So it is unfortunate though, because yeah, he kind of like watered down the entire album. So it's kind of like hard to even like really find your favorites. But I am happy that Eric mentioned Two Chains and that usually when he shows up with Two Chains, he comes correct. I really have a sneaking suspicion it is because it's probably Two Chains' like his production, his people because if you notice on Cotton Candy, so that's the song that was on this album featuring Two Chains, like the beat is catchy, it's upbeat, the production is like full and vibrant and amazing. And then you get to the next track and you're like, the fuck just happened? So I think, yeah. So I think that that's something that y'all should go check out. You listen to Cotton Candy. It ain't that bad. Okay. Another one on there that I would say is a decent standout would be Hip Hop with Big Plug the X and Jay Jones. I've always wanted to hear Wayne and Big Plug together or Big X the Plug together.
I
So
was just gonna
actually,
say, Allie, I gotta get you. Big X the
Yeah, I
plug.
was like,
sorry, sorry,
I'm,
Big
I'm
X.
glad.
Sorry, Big X. My bad, my
Yeah,
bad.
I heard it too. I was gonna let it slide, but all right.
Nah, we letting it
Uh-oh.
slide. I
Now
was like,
my
no, we
melanin card
gotta
is gonna be revoked. My bad, y'all. My bad.
They was gonna take your 15% away from you.
They was gonna revoke
right.
it. I'm holding on to that little 15% now. You can't have me out here without my 15. But yeah, but there's some decent ones. There's some decent ones. But it is a huge album. I didn't listen to every single one, so I'll let you guys know if I find anything else that I like. But we'll see. We'll see if we get any other music from him in the future because I don't know if anyone's gonna be checking for another album. We waited long enough for this one. I think people were really disappointed. So we'll see what happens in the future. But I think that's it for me, guys. Y'all got anything else you want to get off your chest?
Real quick, are you Team Brittany or Team Kevin? We do need at least one guilty innocent verdict on the show. Brittany Renner divorced
Oh,
Kevin Gates. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying?
I don't even understand why they got divorced. They seem like so perfect and in love all of a week ago. Like, what? I have no idea why they even broke up. I'm still
Marcus,
in the
what
dark.
happened, bro?
But I don't know what happened. Shit, the best I can say is somebody didn't do a lot. Nigga, I have no idea what happened between them. Like, cause first of all, it was such a crazy connection that I legitimately did not believe either one of them. Honest, like, I mean,
Oh, off
now,
the rip. Like, oh,
like,
y'all
yeah,
married? Like,
yeah, I
okay.
didn't believe either one of them. But then what?
I didn't either.
So now I will say this. Kevin Gates has always had the appeal of having better interviews than music,
Mm-hmm.
meaning that
Mhm.
he is a more interesting personality than the music that he creates. That's all I
Mm-hmm.
mean. Not that the music he creates is bad. It's just that him talking is more than him create. I'd rather hear him interview than hear him rap.
Agree.
With
I'm all the
and
way
with
with you.
yeah. So
Yep.
with that being said, this last interview cycle, if you will, has been about his sobriety and where he's at now.
Okay.
So the play, like when he was with, I was like, I just don't understand this. I don't get it. I don't understand. Like, I don't believe either one of y'all. I think y'all lying, this and the third. The more and more I heard him talk about his sobriety and how he was clean and that this is his next steps, I was drinking the Kool-Aid. I was like, okay, I can see why why he wants to walk in this light with her, and to her
He
own
converted
credit,
her to Islam too, right? Like
I
she
don't,
became a Muslim because of him, right?
That's what she's saying.
yeah, in a way, and so he kind of reformed her and like basically in this one turned a hoe into a housewife,
For like
Yeah.
2 seconds.
So I mean, I was like, well, damn, if Kevin was gonna be, I mean, if anybody could do it.
It's the nigga that can rub his hands together and turn a car battery back on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
If you can do
if
that, you
That's a
can
nothing
do
else.
fact.
anything, my nigga.
You can
That's a
So
fact.
resurrect anybody.
You feel me?
So yeah, I mean, I was beginning to believe. Like I was like, okay, it just like, hey, they seem happy, and then like they broke up out of nowhere, and I'm like, damn,
And
why
going
did I?
straight to divorce though, that's the wild part. I feel
Yeah,
Right. They didn't
like
waste no time.
at all. Like, and so
like
that's what
what the
also makes
fuck?
me like curious as to like what could have gone so left so quickly. Now,
Right.
I also think it's interesting because like Brittany has been known to have a little bit of a temper, but that was mainly like when she was like drinking and kicking it, doing her IG baddie shit. So yeah, like I really thought she was about to like fulfill the role of submissive wife and all of that. So yeah, I'm actually really shocked that this didn't. I mean, don't get me wrong, I didn't think that they were going to be like together for 20 years, to be 1,000% honest. But I thought it was going to be at least 3 months, 4 months. Like, what the hell?
And and truth
Sheesh.
be told, not to throw salt on somebody else's beautiful relationship and marriage, we expect this from Jonathan Majors and Megan Good.
Wait, they broke up already?
No, I
Am
said
I
we
out the loop?
expected it. No, 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 we
Oh,
expected it. No,
the quick breakup, you
yeah,
say.
the
Oh,
quick,
okay,
Yeah.
yeah,
okay.
like like
Okay,
that.
yeah,
It
yeah,
was, yeah, we didn't expect this from them. Like we weren't,
Yeah.
we were waiting on that shoe to drop, not, and then they was, yeah, so, and it never happened, so we
right.
were like, oh damn, and that's kind of where we was at with this too. So yeah, it's a wild time to be an industry romancer. If you're in the
Yeah.
romance and you're in the industry, it's just wild right now.
Good luck, for real.
It's all a wobbler.
It really is. It is. Well, we'll wish them the best of luck in the future. I don't know. What are our verdicts? I guess we're gonna wrap this on
I
up.
guess we
We're
need
gonna,
more information. They still on trial, huh?
Yeah,
That's
Stay on
crazy.
yeah.
They still
trial.
on trial. We got to deliberate a little bit more, you know what I mean? And
Okay.
come back to the court with new information, new
Mm-hmm.
evidence.
If anything, I would say the only thing that I would suggest for them is mediation. You know what I mean? If the court
There we
can't
go.
necessarily assign you to do that just now, I say consider it, okay? Consider it. For Elon and Trump, y'all, what is the verdict? Like, is somebody guilty? Do we think that
Both of them niggas
somebody
Everybody
guilty.
guilty.
Yeah,
Both of them
both under the
deserve
jail.
prison.
But are we talking like they both getting like both being in the same cell? Or are we talking like somebody is worse than the other? Like is
That's a
somebody
good one.
in Max
Mm,
and is somebody in Gen Pop? Or both in
That's a
Max,
good one.
both in Gen Pop? Like what are we thinking? Where are we throwing them?
Nah, they
I
both
think
in Gen Pop. They both deserve that.
yeah, yeah.
They
Put him
both
in Gen
deserve
Pop.
that.
I
Elon,
think
because
they
of
both.
everything he did with Doge and all of his racist shit and fucking over people and
Hmm.
everything he's ever done. Put him in Gen Pop so that he can, you know, link up with some of them people whose lives he fucked over. And you know what I'm saying? And then Trump, he's definitely responsible for more dead people. You know, he was the president. So, you know, a lot of dead bodies under your count, so you can rot too,
Yeah.
sir. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Right.
You remember? I think it was Iron Man 2 or Iron Man when they was in the cave and he had to make the suit.
That's the first one.
Yeah.
That's the first, yeah, Iron Man. So I think Elon and Trump get put in the cave, and unlike the movie where the suit gets them free, the terrorists win.
There you go.
I love that.
A
All
good
right.
one.
That is a good one. All right. Well, I agree to that. And I also set bail at $30 trillion, which is the national debt. So if there's one way we're gonna get out,
That's a good one.
there's one
That's
way we're gonna get up out this
hilarious.
Oh,
motherfucker. I'm just saying, if there's one
I
way we
like
gonna pay
that.
that bill. Send it to the motherfuckers we've been sending some checks to unnecessarily for quite a while. Let them go ahead and pick up that tab. But I think that's about it, fellas. I feel like we've discussed it all.
now that's crazy because you really put a real question in the atmosphere. Would you choose Donald Trump going to jail or the national debt being zero?
Oh,
Donald Trump going to jail.
really?
Really?
No question.
I,
The reason why I say that, like, I give a quick explanation because everything that Donald Trump is doing is the reason why the debt matters. The debt actually doesn't matter as long as the dollar is the world reserve currency. But doing all these trade wars and shit, he's making all these countries link up and become our ops. And therefore, they're going to start coming up with their own trade agreements and excluding America out of it. At that point, once the dollar's not the world reserve currency anymore, our debt matters and we have to pay back every country that we owe. And this is all because of Trump. If we lock him up, we can fix some of these relationships and our debt doesn't matter.
wow. I never
Mm.
thought of it that way. And you know what? He's actually got a really good point. Really, really quick. I know we said we're going to close it up, but Shane actually makes a really good point. I saw a post of this woman in China and she was in the grocery store and she was like, let me show you guys like what our grocery store looks like. And she's like, only 18% of what we import is from the US. So honestly, to be like, to be totally frank, like it's not like the shelves are empty in this motherfucker. Like we're fine. Now she also said that a lot of the imports that they get from America, they can easily replace us with somebody
Easy.
else.
Yeah.
So her best example was she went to the meat aisle and she showed all of the beef that was on display. She said that grocery store used to only carry American beef and that it was a little bit more pricey when she used to go and buy it. Now they strictly carry Australian beef, and I'm
Right,
telling you,
Mm.
she
healthier and
picked up
everything.
everything. She picked up this big giant ass piece of the steak, and it was like one of those like one of those big giant chuck roast kind of things.
Mm-hmm.
She
Yeah.
picked it up. It was $7. She was
Yep.
There
like,
you go.
"We got this from Australia. It's more than likely better quality because
Mm-hmm.
probably less hormones and all types of stuff pumped into it. The fraction of the cost, and it's easier for us to get because it's not like Australia is that far from us. So we're good. Like
Yeah.
we are a okay. And if anything, thank you Donald Trump, because if anything, you just made my grocery trip cheaper.
Yep.
So you're right. You're 1,000% right. And I had to let y'all know. Yeah, China ain't worried about a motherfucking thing.
My nigga YG said it best. Fuck Donald Trump. R.I.P. Nip.
Period. Period. All
Hey,
right,
RP
guys.
Noob.
Right. Seriously. But all right, fellas, I think that's about it. I feel like we got just about everything off our chest. If we missed it on this one, we'll get it next time. And I'm sure that the jury will also let us know if we missed out on anything, if they saw some evidence out there that we didn't pick up on. And we also want to know your verdict as well. So make sure you guys drop that in the comment section below. You should also check out everything else that Ethos Media Network has to offer. Check out that description box, guys. There's plenty of links there for you guys to go check out the other shows, our Patreon, and all of that. But make sure you are here every Monday for a new episode of Bar Exam. We'll see you guys on the next one. Bye.